Good evening, dear friend. Tonight, let's leave behind the worries of the day and step into a world where the ordinary becomes magical, where the whispers of the earth weave stories of wonder. Imagine yourself lying on a soft blanket in the middle of a vineyard, the air cool and fragrant with the scent of ripe grapes, the stars above twinkling like tiny lanterns. We're about to follow the journey of a man named Andree, a bartender whose life changes forever when he discovers the hidden magic of wine in Napa Valley. This is a tale of adventure, mystery, and healing, a story to cradle your heart and mind as you drift into a peaceful sleep. So, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the story carry you away. Let's begin. In the heart of San Francisco, at the luxurious Fairmont Hotel, a man named Andree worked as a bartender. Andree was a quiet soul, with a warm smile and a knack for mixing drinks that could tell a story in every sip. He loved his job, the clinking of glasses, the hum of conversations, and the way a good cocktail could bring people together. But deep down, Andree felt a longing, a yearning for something more, something that would awaken his spirit and give him a sense of purpose. One crisp autumn morning in 2023, the Fairmont Hotel announced a special trip for all its bartenders, a visit to Napa Valley to tour a renowned winery. Andree's eyes lit up at the news. He had always been fascinated by wine, its rich history, and the way it seemed to hold the essence of the earth in every bottle. The idea of walking through the rolling hills of Napa Valley, surrounded by endless rows of grapevines, filled him with excitement. He packed a small bag, slipped on his favorite jacket, and joined his colleagues on the journey, his heart buzzing with anticipation. The winery they visited was the historic Robert Mondavi Winery, a place where the air was thick with the scent of fermenting grapes and the promise of something magical. As the group walked through the vineyard, their guide spoke of the art of winemaking, the careful tending of the vines, the patience required for fermentation, the way each bottle held a story of its own. Andree listened intently, his fingers brushing against the leaves of the grapevines, feeling a strange connection to the land. It was as if the vines were whispering to him, their voices soft and ancient, calling him to listen closer. After the tour, the group was led to the winery's cellar, a dimly lit room lined with oak barrels and shelves of wine bottles, their labels glowing softly in the flickering light. Andree wandered away from the group, drawn to a particular bottle on a high shelf. Its label was unlike any he had ever seen, intricate and otherworldly, with swirling patterns that seemed to shimmer like liquid gold. The name on the bottle read Lunar Essence, and as Andree stared at it, the world around him began to blur. The chatter of his colleagues faded, the air grew warm and heavy, and a soft hum filled his ears like the song of a distant harp. Before he knew it, Andree felt himself falling, not to the ground, but into the bottle itself, as if the wine had opened a portal to another realm. When Andree opened his eyes, he found himself in a world unlike any he had ever seen. A mystical realm where the sky shimmered with hues of ruby and amber, and the ground was made of soft, velvety earth that sparkled like crushed grapes. All around him were bottles of wine, but they weren't just bottles, they were alive. Each bottle had a shimmering aura, a personality of its own, and they moved and spoke as if they were human. Some glowed with a fiery red, others with a golden warmth, and a few with a deep, mysterious purple. Andree blinked in astonishment as the bottles turned to him, their voices a melodic chorus. "Welcome, Andree," said a deep, velvety voice from a bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, its aura a rich crimson. "We've been waiting for you. You're the first human to enter our world in centuries." Andree's heart raced, but there was no fear, only wonder. I'm honored," he stammered, his voice soft. "But why me?" A bottle of Chardonnay, glowing with a sunny golden light, floated closer, its voice light and bubbly. "Because you feel the wine, Andree," it said. "You understand its heart. Come, let us show you our world." The bottles took Andree to a hidden grove deep within their world, a place they called the heart of the vine. The grove was a sanctuary of ancient grapevines, their gnarled branches twisting upward like the arms of wise old guardians, their leaves shimmering with a soft, emerald glow. The air here was thick with the scent of earth and ripened fruit, and the ground beneath Andree's feet pulsed gently, as if the heartbeat of the land itself was alive. In the center of the grove stood a massive oak tree, its bark carved with swirling patterns that seemed to tell the story of every grape ever grown, every bottle ever crafted. The wines gathered around the tree, their auras dimming in reverence. "This is where our stories begin," whispered a bottle of Zinfandel, its deep ruby aura flickering like a flame. "Every bottle in our world is born from the heart of the vine, a place of memory, of struggle, and of love." Andree knelt beside the tree, his hand brushing against its rough bark, and as he touched it, a flood of images filled his mind. He saw rolling hills under a blazing sun, the hands of farmers tenderly pruning vines, the quiet patience of winemakers as they waited for the grapes to ripen. He felt the joy of a harvest festival, the sorrow of a drought-stricken season, the pride of a bottle being uncorked for a celebration. Andree's eyes filled with tears as he realized he wasn't just seeing the stories of the wines. He was feeling them, their emotions weaving into his own. Here, the bottles of Merlot gathered, their voices deep and brooding. "We are the bold ones," they boasted, their auras pulsing with intensity. "Our flavor is the richest, the most complex." But a group of Pinot Noir bottles, their auras a soft, delicate red, scoffed. "Richness isn't everything," they said, their voices airy and refined. "We are elegant, subtle, the true essence of sophistication. The bottles began to argue, their voices rising in a playful rivalry, each trying to prove whose flavor was the best. Andree couldn't help but smile, charmed by their passion. He stepped forward, his voice gentle. "You're all wonderful in your own way," he said. "Each of you brings something unique to the world." The bottles paused, their auras softening, and for the first time, they seemed to see each other with new eyes, their rivalry turning into camaraderie. Next, the bottles led Andree to a shimmering lake, its surface a pale gold, reflecting the light of 1,000 tiny stars. This was the realm of the white wines, where bottles of Sauvignon Blanc and Riesling danced in the air, their voices bright and crisp. "Taste the air, Andree," a Sauvignon Blanc urged, its aura sparkling like citrus. Andree inhaled deeply, and to his amazement, he could taste the flavors: lemon zest, green apple, a hint of minerality. The Rieslings, with their sweeter, floral notes, giggled as they swirled around him. "Isn't it magical?" they asked, their voices like a spring breeze. Andree nodded, his heart swelling with awe. "It's more than magical," he said. "It's alive." The journey continued through a misty valley where the dessert wines lived, their auras a deep amber, their voices warm and syrupy. A bottle of sauternes, glowing with a honeyed light, offered Andree a sip of its essence, and as he tasted it, he felt a wave of warmth wash over him, like a memory of a perfect autumn day. "We carry sweetness and comfort," the sauternes whispered. "We heal the heart." Andree felt tears prick his eyes, not from sadness, but from a deep, profound sense of peace. He had never felt so connected to anything in his life. As they traveled, Andree learned the stories of the wines, their origins, their struggles, their joys. A bottle of Syrah, with a smoky, peppery aura, told them of the rocky soils it had grown in, the harsh winds it had endured to become what it was. A bottle of sparkling Prosecco shared its joy of celebration, its bubbles dancing in the air as it laughed. Andree listened to each story with rapt attention, his heart opening to the beauty of their world. But he also saw their vulnerabilities, their envy, their fears of being forgotten, their longing to be loved by those who drank them. Andree became their friend, their confidant, offering them words of encouragement. "You're all so special," he told them. "Every one of you has a place in someone's heart." The wines then took Andree to the heart of their realm, a grand vineyard under a sky that shimmered like a glass of rose at sunset. Here, the bottles gathered for a festival, a celebration of their unity. They sang songs that sounded like the clinking of glasses, their voices harmonizing in a melody that filled the air with warmth. Andree joined them, dancing among the vines, his laughter mingling with theirs. He tasted their flavors, felt their emotions, and for the first time in years, he felt truly alive. The wines taught him about balance, how sweetness needed a touch of acidity, how boldness needed a hint of softness. Andree realized that this was a lesson for his own life, too. A lesson in finding harmony within himself. But as all magical journeys must, this one came to an end. One evening, as the sky turned a deep violet, the Cabernet Sauvignon approached Andree, its voice gentle. "It's time for you to return to your world, Andree," it said. "But you'll carry our magic with you always." Andree felt a pang of sadness, but he nodded, knowing he couldn't stay forever. The bottles gathered around him, their auras glowing brighter than ever, and with a soft hum, they sent him back. Andree felt himself rising, the world of wine fading like a dream, until he was standing once again in the cellar of the Robert Mondavi winery, the bottle of lunar essence still in front of him. The journey had left a profound mark on Andree's heart. He returned to his life at the Fairmont Hotel, but he was a changed man. Every time he poured a glass of wine, he felt the emotions of the bottles he had met, their joy, their pride, their longing. He treated each bottle with reverence, as if it were a dear friend, and his passion for wine grew deeper with every passing day. His customers noticed the change, often commenting on the way Andree spoke of wine with such love, as if he knew its soul. A few years later, in 2027, Andree took a leap of faith. With the savings he had accumulated, he opened his own wine shop in Napa Valley, a quaint little store he named Lunar Essence, in honor of the bottle that had changed his life. The shop was a haven for wine lovers, its shelves lined with bottles that Andree had carefully selected, each one a reminder of the magical world he had visited. Word spread quickly, and soon, customers flocked to Lunar Essence, drawn not just by the wine, but by Andree's warmth and the stories he shared about each bottle. He poured his heart into his work, and in return, his shop became a place of healing, a place where people came to find solace, to celebrate, to connect. As Andree stood behind the counter of Lunar Essence one evening, pouring a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon for a customer, he smiled, his heart full. He could still hear the voices of the wines from that mystical realm, their songs echoing in his memory. And as the sun set over the vineyards of Napa Valley, painting the sky in shades of ruby and gold, Andree knew he had found his purpose, healing others with the magic of wine, just as the wine had healed him. Our story has gently come to a close, and now, as the soft rain falls outside, let its soothing rhythm wrap around you, easing your mind and carrying you into a deep, restful sleep.